Hello, everybody. This is Global Warming Skeptic here to deal with a general topic that has been going around the internet, dealing with the level of Donald Trump's wealth. Now, first of all, let me address an in house issue. I apologize for the volume issues if people who have been using headphones have been dealing with unequal volume between the videos and my voice. I've tried to slightly increase my volume, but if it's still problematic, let me know and I will make adjustments accordingly. Also, this video is going to be a live search for sources because we all know what a great source Wikipedia is not. So, we're going to be going through the various sources to kind of verify the information on here just to ensure accuracy and critique, etc., etc. But there may be times of long silence where I'm reading, so feel free to skip through if the silence becomes too overbearing. Now, with that said, let me explain the premise of this video again. There's a lot of talk about Donald Trump's tax returns, why he is not releasing them, whether he is genuine about the reasoning for it. First of all, let me explain why he said he's not releasing them. I'm not saying this is a valid or invalid reason because I don't know enough to be able to say for sure, but he is currently under an audit, and his view is that it is not smart to release his tax returns during an audit. Now, you will see from a lot of entities such as the Young Turks that, oh, the IRS said he can release his tax returns. Well, yeah, but just because you can do something does not mean it's smart to do so. So, for example, if the tax returns are released and the media starts finding something, the IRS might want to do some more digging, yada yada, and it's just not smart from a business perspective because the IRS could be coming after and demanding more money. And we all know how corrupt the IRS can be. The conservative 501, 401c scandal, for example. But we won't get into that here. We're going to be going into the various properties listed here in Wikipedia. We're looking at the Trump Organization, so if some of you want to follow along, go through the sources, verify, etc., etc., you're more than welcome to do so. But you got the title of the wiki right there. And let's kind of scroll down, just see if there's any more. Um, See, most of this is assets, which is good because it gives us a lot to look at. I don't know if we're going to look at everything, but we're both going to be doing a quantitative analysis, well, a qualitative, and we're going to try to get some quantities if we possibly can as to how much something is worth that Donald Trump has. Um, and let me go ahead and pull this up just to kind of get you at least one marker of the worth of Donald Trump. Let's see, Forbes richest people, because Trump should be listed on here. He's kind of down because he's listed as a billionaire here, but he's not really um, like one of the richest people because there's a lot of billionaires. Okay, let's see. Now this isn't. Okay, they changed this to. Let's see if we can look at a better list because I don't want to go through the gallery lists because Forbes billionaires list. Let's see if we can find it here because those pictures they take an eternity to go through. Okay, now here's Bill Gates, still worth the most, and then um, oh, Carlos Slim went down. Okay, now enough of looking at that because we're not really looking at. Now let's see if we can find Trump here. Okay, Trump. He's probably going to be on another page. You got a lot of 10 billionaires. Now I believe it says Trump is worth 4.1, but we're going to look down just to verify. There's Donald Trump, listed at 4.5 billion, so it's a little better than I thought. This is estimated from Forbes. I don't know exactly what Forbes uses to estimate net worth, how much of the person's word they take for it, but that's just a marker. And they say television and real estate, so they're including his personal names value as well. 4.5 billion. So I wonder if we can find some methodology. I don't think we're going to find much because this is more just a list. And there's nothing up here. So, but anyhow, that's what Forbes says he's worth. 4.5 billion, not the 10 billion he says he's worth. You got to have doubts about that, but then again, judging somebody's net worth, especially when you include the person's name itself, can be kind of tricky because you don't have a lot of people appraising other people for their worth because we don't have a slave trade anymore. But let's go ahead and go through some of these properties. You're going to see he's probably at least a billionaire. That is 100% deductible. So here we go. Trump Tower, Source 28. Let's see. Now here it says um, the total value of Trump Tower's commercial and real estate spaces is $460 million. The building was refinanced for $100 million in August 2012, allowing Trump to take a cash distribution of over 73 million. So first of all, let's see if we can get the source for this. What does Trump really own? Catherine Clark. Now, this is still a media source, but I guess you can count this a little bit better than Wikipedia. This is also 2013, so it's before his campaign started. That's definitely big because we don't want any campaign political biases here. Biases. Um, so let's see if we can find that number. Okay, so commercial real estate. Okay, so it's pretty much word for word what it said in the wiki. With an interest rate of 4.2% for that kind of loan as well. That's important because that's a pretty low interest rate. That's a low interest rate for anything, 4.2%. So, what does that tell you? That tells you that Trump's credit is solid and he's got money that could be counted on to pay off whatever debts he's accruing. So, that tells you a lot right there. So, there's that. There's Trump Tower. That's already half a billion. Now, keep in mind that you have people like Kyle from Secular Talk and John Idarola from the Young Turks saying that Trump may only be worth $500 million. This alone is 460 million combined with the refinancing of the building. Also, it's been renovated multiple times. That's not cheap. So you can already say that they're wrong. So you got Trump World Tower 2006. Forbes estimated $290 million in profits and unrealized appreciation going to Trump. So that's from Forbes. Let's make sure the source is right. We may only check a couple of these for because we just want to make sure that the wiki isn't bullcrapping us, if you know what I mean. So that's the wrong thing. Um, let's see. What it say? 260. Okay, $260 billion. Okay, 1995. Trump bought 40 Wall Street, 1.2 million square feet, where it was empty and severely ailing at a giveaway of $1 million. He spent tens of millions of dollars on a renovation and successfully leased it to tenants like American Express and Countrywide Insurance. It has $160 million mortgage on it now. Prices in the Wall Street district have jumped lately to an average of $350 a foot. This nets to $260 million. And they've also got more stuff here. So let me go ahead and link you to this article title. I may or may not put some of these sources up. I don't know. I'm probably going to be too lazy. Let's be honest. But there's your title. Now let's see what else Trump owns. Let's see. That's a huge amount of $260 million. So that puts Trump at close to a billion, and then you got all this. See, I may not even have to go on for much longer. I thought that I was going to have to rigorously defend all of this, but let's go ahead, read all this. AXA Financial Center, 1290 Avenue of the Americas, New York City, in 555 California Street in San Francisco, where Trump was forced to sell a stake in the railroads on Manhattan's west side. The Asian group to which he sold much of the site for $1.76 billion dollars. Trump owns a 30% stake in both 1296 Avenue and 555 California Street, a 43-story trophy office tower. 1296 is worth as much as $1.5 billion dollars. Trump's stake is estimated to be $450 million dollars. Trump's interest in 555 California Street is worth $400 million dollars. So this isn't just chump change here. You look at the values of these properties. Listen, I didn't click on sources, but really, it's very well sourced, and I don't think you're going to have a problem with the verification of all of this. And I'm not trying to super verify Trump's worth. I'm not an appraiser here, but what I did want to answer, and what I wanted to answer for myself live on here, because I didn't want to have to read this, then go back and read it again because I'm lazy, is I wanted to see for myself what exactly Trump owns and just his business ventures. And if you look at all this, and this is just his completed properties. This isn't his television. This isn't his like you look at Scotland, like he had that golf course that he kept talking about. You got properties in Dubai. You got licensing. He also licenses his name. You can't forget about that. That's worth millions and millions of dollars. His name alone. Because, yeah, he doesn't own everything. He licenses his name, but his name is worth a lot. But you also got to figure, yeah, he owns a lot of property worth a lot of money. Probably billions of dollars worth. It may even be worth more than the amount that Forbes is estimating that Trump is worth, which they say 4.5 billion. It's like I said, I don't know the basis behind that number, but we have multiple sources that show that yes, he is every bit as rich as he says. It may not be 9 billion, but it's more than a billion, and it's a lot more than a billion. So, for those of you saying about his tax returns, I agree. I don't know why. I'd like to see him. I'd love to see him. But then again, when you say things like he's not releasing them because he's not as rich as he says, that's pretty incorrect. And also, you got to take into account he's also disclosed his finances when he did the campaign. He filed his financials with the FEC. And he filed, if you look at all this that he had to put on there, that's a lot of stuff. But as far as why he won't release his tax returns, I don't know. It could be, and I think it likely is going to be because Trump has not outright lied yet. I'm going to take him at his word about the audit. At least give him the benefit of the doubt until it starts to be concerning where an audit's no longer a viable possibility. But there is one more thing before I get off of here that I want to address, and that is Trump's words saying people do not have a right to see his tax returns. And that's absolutely true. If he shows his tax returns, it's because he wanted to show them. Candidates are under no obligation to show anything. Anything. And yes, it's been standard for politicians to do it, but it does not mean it's a requirement, and it does not mean it's going to be the primary thing I'm looking at, even if he never releases them. Even if Trump never released his tax returns, if you look at him compared to somebody, say, Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton, Gary Johnson's another story because I would vote for Gary Johnson if it weren't a wasted vote. I'm sorry. I know that hurts you libertarians. I'm a libertarian myself, but you gotta deal with it. Gary Johnson's not going to win the election. Okay? And so, the bottom line is this: Trump is a billionaire. There's no way he's not a billionaire. Just because of the properties he owns in Manhattan alone, much less the rest of the world. Thanks for listening. God bless.